Hey, so this is my video review of Spider-Man 2002. I put a bunch, it mainly contains photos, but there is videos in there. Hopefully this is good enough for you guys to watch it. But if you want to treat it more like a podcast and have it playing while you like working out or playing while you playing video games or doing whatever you listen to podcasts to, treat it that way, treat it either way. Like I said, I think it is still good enough to watch it, but hopefully you enjoy. Thank you. All right, so Spider-Man 2002. So crazy. First of all, it was that long ago. That's insane to think about. Like that I've seen a movie and like it's been almost 20 years. 20 years next year. It's just insane to think. I'm only like 22. It's crazy to think about that. Like, yo, like next year it'll be 20 years. That's insane. I don't want to think about it. It's terrible. I hate that. I hate that thought. Spider-Man 2002 though. Okay, this movie was huge. This was the biggest opening ever at the time. Biggest weekend opening ever. It did like 100 million, 114, something like that. And it was nothing has ever done that. It was a huge weekend. It was big for the movie, and not only that, it was a good movie, especially for its time. It got a lot of good reviews. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people liked it, and it was one of those movies where it was like, this makes superhero movies a little more serious. Like people like gave it a little more like, oh look, like superhero movies can be good. That's kind of the thought. Like, oh, like like X-Men came out, they were like, okay, wait a minute, okay, that was a good one. And then boom, this one came out and really like helped solidify. Okay, comic book movies can be actual like good, great action movies. My thoughts as a kid watching this, I loved it. I loved watching this as a kid. Um, it was fun. It was great. I don't remember like when I first saw it. Like I definitely remember. It's crazy. I remember the day I saw Spider-Man 2, and I remember the day going to Walmart and getting Spider-Man 2 the DVD. But I don't remember at all seeing Spider-Man 1 in the theater or who bought the DVD for me. I just know I've always had the DVD. So I don't really remember too much at all. I was 2 years old, so I don't remember too much exactly then. But in my childhood, I watched this a good amount. I mean, I watched Spider-Man 2 way more. Like I thought, that the movie was better. But I still watched this movie. I remember liking the action scenes as a kid, playing those over. But mainly throughout my life, Spider-Man 1 has been kind of a skip through movie. It's kind of been a skip through movie. Now I just recently watched the full thing again last year, and I watched the full thing again like a few months ago, like July, June, something like that. And now I just watched it again today. So into my review, opening credits kind of suck. They're very long. And I remembered I was like, okay, all three movies have long opening credits, but they suck. They kind of it's not. It's a kind of a waste of 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, however long it was. Like if this was in a comic book movie today, people would walk out. Okay, not like okay, they wouldn't walk out, but it's just too long. It's so long for what? And it's just it's a very 2002 thing to have that type of opening. Like you don't see that anymore. And you shouldn't. Honestly, I'm glad movies moved on from that. I mean, sometimes it's been in other movies I liked from the 90s and 2000s. They do the long opening credits thing, but it's usually with like a good song or some entertaining visuals. And these visuals are okay. It's really just like the blood and webs moving. But I mean, it's just the score, and it's just not worth it. I'm actually talking about it for too long. It's not even worth the time. All right, so the strengths of the movie. The good parts. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I don't. Uh. You know. I enjoyed it. I enjoy rewatching this sort of. Like the last time I watched it, I was thinking a lot of the memes. Like I was laughing throughout the movie. I was thinking about the memes because there's so many memes that stem from this movie. Like the glasses bit, the bit of I'm sort of a scientist myself. Like that's hilarious. So many different things. What's the other memes? Oh, the how much I sacrificed, like that part is hilarious, still used today. This is and then there was the whole my name is Jeff meme like 8 years ago now. So that was funny. But this time I was like, yo, I'm trying to not think of the memes. Let's just watch this. Let's take this review seriously. Let's just watch this movie. And watching it that way was not as fun. Definitely not as fun. There's not too much in this movie to me to enjoy, which sounds very harsh, but I don't. I guess I like some. The fight scenes are okay. I was gonna mention that in my negative part, but the fight scenes was cool. They're okay. They're okay. They're decent. They're not as good as I remember. I said like it's the we don't get a lot of web swinging in the movie, but the web swinging I guess is good. I could say that's a positive. So let's maybe I'll circle back to some positives, some strengths, but right now let's get to the weaknesses. So some of the CGI doesn't look good, and when I mean some, I mean most of it. It doesn't look good. It looks very video gamey. There's the part where he runs down the alley. That just looks really bad. All the stuff, the crawling stuff looks pretty bad. A lot of Green Goblin looks bad, and there's the weird, of course, the super weird balloons, the Thanksgiving Day balloons that just look really, really bad. And even looked bad back then, but of course, I don't care. I'm a kid. I'm just watching along. But it's very video gamey. You kind of think it would be better. It'd be better, man. And the CGI, speaking of that scene with the balloons and stuff, the CGI skeletons have never looked good. Now that's something as a kid I was like, all right, these look kind of trash. Like this is not solid. This is not good. CGI skeletons just always when Green Goblin throws his pumpkin bomb, can I call that? Yeah, and then he kills the men. What made them think to go for that? What made them, like, the CGI was clearly not on that level to go for that, but it still did, and it looked bad. It did not pay off for them. There's a shot in here where MJ is literally holding on to a mannequin. She's holding on to a mannequin mid-swing, and I just can't unsee it. I didn't know it for years. I noticed it last year watching it, and I was like, oh crap! Like I'm never gonna be able to unsee that now. This one's kind of mean, but not super mean. I don't mean it in a weird way, but Tobey Maguire's face is weird. Like he makes weird faces throughout the movie. Like his face, it just looks weird at different times. His face, like, whenever he's trying to get serious or emotional, or he's just sitting there crying, or he's crying in a different way, it looks weird, and that's no disrespect. I don't want Toby to, chase me down and go all ragey on me.
They got the fuck out of the way! I can't see! There are cars there, motherfucker! Get out of the way!
They're stopped for you, dude.
We're blocking the car for you.
But it's weird, Toby. Like it's a weird face. No disrespect. He's a pretty good actor. So that's no. Hopefully that's no. He takes no disrespect. The dialogue and the acting feels off. The dialogue is just it's sometimes written like it's like a 60s film, or it's like some of the dialogue is just so old school, like even more old school than 2002. It's like, what? It's like there's some lines in there. It's like, what? Why is she or he speaking like that? Like no one talk. Even in 2002, no one talks like that. And some of the acting feels off, but that's I'll give it somewhat of a pass because it was a long time ago, and like acting was kind of different back then. Like there's a difference in acting for sure in the early 2000s and stuff like that than today, than like 2012 on. Like there's been a shift. There's been a shift for sure, and this is back in that era. And speaking of, this movie was made so many eras ago. Like I get that, like it's 2002 and there's been so many eras since, but this feels like it's so long ago. Like there's so much in it that just feels it feels like it's 50 years ago. It feels like it's 2002, just almost 20 years, but it feels like it is 50 years. It feels so long ago. And it's just the differences of film, I think. You can't put this movie out today. Update the CGI, update the script a little bit, but you keep the same story, you keep the same way to deliver the lines, you keep all this, and it does not work at all today. It feels like it was made so long ago, even though it was only 20 years ago. And like I said, I mentioned this in the positive part, but the fight scenes are okay. I remember them being so much better, so much doper as a kid, but that makes sense. The first fight's okay during the Thanksgiving. The fight in the fiery buildings, just cool. And then the ending action and all that, it's okay. I get why that probably worked in 2002. It's a big spectacle. People, what I'm saying, he's got to make a choice, and then he's holding on to the little not fairy, I don't know what to call it, but the kids are in the box thing. I don't live in Newark. And then, he's holding on to MJ, and he's holding on to the web, and then he's getting hit by a Green Goblin, and we got the New Yorkers to throw in, they're throwing stuff at the Green Goblin, showing the city, which I do kind of like that, the city's behind Spider-Man. I like that, and it even makes sense from the arc of the city, the city liking Spider-Man, then not liking Spider-Man, then liking him again. So that kind of does make sense. So I'm fine with that. But it's that, and then at least like a cool little fist fight, which is actually pretty good. I like seeing Green Goblin beat the crap out of Spider-Man. That was pretty good. I like to see my heroes get beat up and then get up again. So all that stuff was cool. It just wasn't like fantastic. Even I get it. It's just the first movie. I'm not expecting a crazy action finish, but it was even that's like I liked it, but also just decent. Tobey Maguire, pretty good, not great. Oh, kind of weird, I don't mean to just. Let me start that over. Tobey Maguire, good, but not that great. Like I've always like his acting is kind of weird in this. It's kind of weird acting. Like I've always looked at him like, okay, his acting was good, and I love that he showed that. Like my favorite thing about him, even as a kid, and now I was like, yo, in his acting, you can tell the effort he gives. Like that's a big thing for me. You can tell the effort, and that's really where it comes from. In this movie, there's no real scenes where he's like, showing that emotional or kinetic. He's having to do something physical and showing that effort through the acting. And this one's just a lot of regular acting, and I think it was a weird choice to cast him, honestly. As much as I'm like, oh yeah, I love Toby. Toby was dope. He was like, he's a good, Peter Parker, but he's so dorky too. That's also wrote that in my note. He is so nerdy and dorky. It is crazy. Like, it's over the top with it almost at times, and it's like. In Spider-Man wise, it's like he's definitely. I definitely get it. I'm fully on board when people say he wasn't that good of a Spider-Man. At first I was like, man, y'all tripping, because I'm thinking Spider-Man 2, I'm thinking Spider-Man 3. But in this movie, he's not a good Spider-Man. He doesn't even act like the comic book Spider-Man. He can't land the jokes. He's not really Spider-Man like. And he got in great shape, sure, but it's like, it's not enough to be a solid Spider-Man. So I think he shines sort of as Peter, but then not so much as Spider-Man. James Franco's okay in this. He's not, in it a whole lot, but he does what he needs to do. I'd say the acting was solid for what he needed. He's a very, very, very much a side character in this. And Kirsten Dunst, I always forget. I hate that name, Kristen/Kirsten. I don't. Why name your kid that? Who started that? Who started the Kirsten thing? Let's just make them all Kristens. But Kristen Dunst, she's okay. Like I don't really like the acting. Like I said, once again, this acting feels like it's from eras ago. So acting was different. But I don't want to be too harsh with her. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really good either to me. And then William Dafoe does a pretty good job overall. Towards the beginning of the movie, like he's acting a little over the top to me. It's very over the top, and it's just kind of like man, I thought he killed this. I thought he did way better. And then, but of course, there's like the mirror scene and there's some other scenes. Once he really gets into his Green Goblin bag, I thought that's where his acting shines, and he was overall good in the movie for sure. All right, here's my random notes I wrote down as well. The moment MJ like waves at him and he waves back at MJ at the beginning, very relatable. Like when she's waving at his friends and he thinks it's for him. I've been there too many times, so very relatable. Why the heck are you looking at spiders? What kind of science trip is this? Why? I get it. Maybe this is science class, but are you kidding me? To just go into this big building to look at spiders. That's so. Why are they making super spiders? What is even the point of making super spiders? Like no one questioned that. Like, oh yeah, we're just scientifically engineering super spider. Why? Wait a minute. What are you doing? Or maybe they did say it. But I just didn't hear it. But still, it's like, why are you making super spiders? So stupid. And then another thing, when they say one is loose, bro, I would have dipped so fast. None of them flinched. They said, oh, look, there's only 4. They said, oh, there's 15 super spiders. Oh, no, there's only 14 right here. Why did they not all dip out? Why did they not freak out? They were just, oh, look, possibly one of the super spiders is loose. Man, I would have been gone. I would have been gone out of there. So crazy. I don't know why. I don't know why nobody dipped. It's just, oh yeah, one of the super spiders. Okay, like, yo, crazy. Everyone in the high school looks 30. like everyone looks so old. I get it. People did kind of look older. I think that's our own little theory as well. Like as humans, we are looking younger, and that's so dope. But it's like, yo, everyone looks old as crap. Like everyone looks 30 or in their late 20s. It's crazy. Like this is like I'm looking at grown men and grown women in this high school class. What's up with that? But I get it. That was how it was back then. And also, that's how Hollywood does. They always casting adults as high schoolers. All right, so on to the trivia section. Leonardo was considered to be Spider-Man during like the James Cameron version he was gonna make, which was gonna be like a way darker, different version. He had the organic webs too. I forgot to mention that. I really like the organic webs in the movie. I'm very cool with that. I like the organic webs. I don't like the Spider-Man creates a webbing, like that's crazy. Like so you telling me he gets bit by a spider and the only thing he can do is, well, I guess his only thing sounds crazy, but he's got super strength and he can climb on walls. Because without the webbing, that's all it is. So okay, he's strong and he can climb. That's it. He gets bit and that's all he gets. Like I think the webbing makes so much sense. I love that choice, and I think that was the right way to go. But so yeah, Leonardo was gonna be in a James Cameron version of Spider-Man before they did this thing with Raimi, and it was gonna be way darker. Not way dark, but it's gonna be darker, way more adult. And honestly, I forgot if I like that idea. I forgot how much I learned. There's some details out there. You guys can look it up. I'm sure there's YouTube videos about it. So yeah, that's interesting. And like Leonardo would have been a way better Peter Parker. Like, come on, think about young Leonardo. Think about just post Titanic Leonardo. He would have killed it. He would have killed it. Also, another one I just found out. This is crazy. Frankie Muniz was considered. And if you don't know Frankie Muniz, he was Malcolm in the Middle, and that's just crazy. Like he was like so young at this time. Like making the movie, it was like 2000, 2001. They were making the movie, so it was like. He was like literally like probably like 13, 14, so it's crazy to see they went the opposite way and chose like a 28, 29-year-old Tobey Maguire. Hugh Jackman revealed that he was supposed to have a brief cameo as Wolverine. Like, and he even showed up to set, to New York, to film, but they scrapped it because the crew couldn't find or get access to the Wolverine costume, which is crazy. Like that, honestly, first of all, why did he go all the way there if y'all didn't have the costume? Like, or at least still put him in there. I don't do it. He's already there, but man, that's crazy to think that, they was really about to try to connect and tie up the X-Men and Spider-Man. That would have been insane, especially like in the first movie and shit, like to show how Wolverine came in. That would have been crazy. I never knew that at all. One of the reasons why Sam Raimi was a popular choice with Sony to get the director's gig was because he was an avid comic book collector in his private life with a collection of over 25,000 comic books. That's too many. Let me stop right there. That's too many, Sam. Sam, that's an addiction. That's an issue. That's what we call being an addict. That's way too many. I know some people got a lot of comic books, but I don't think they got 25,000. That's got to be gassed up. That's a gas number. That's not real. I think he's just gassing it. There's no way he has 25,000. That's too much. That's way too much. Oh, here's an interesting one. Okay, when James Franco joked about Tobey Maguire's frog-like features on set, dang, the latter, Tobey Maguire, was reportedly genuinely upset by Franco's comments. This created friction between the two actors, which led to an existing rivalry between them now. A rivalry that was admitted by Maguire in interviews since the Spider-Man franchise. That's crazy. That's tough. So that probably made the beef in Spider-Man 2 and 3 much easier. But dang, that's crazy. Okay, wow. He said he got frog-like features. Okay. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, I guess we see him sort of similarly. I ain't say frog-like at all, so I ain't go there with it. But wow, David Fincher was asked to direct. His version would have told the origin story in the opening credits. Way better, and would have been based on the night Gwen Stacy died. I don't know that comic book, but I like that. First of all, the origin story being told in the opening credits and getting it going faster. I like that. And then the night Gwen Stacy died. Never read that, so I gotta kind of look that up later, see if that would have been cool or not. And really, man, that's really it for the great good trivia. I did this for, the new Spider-Man movie coming out. Of course, I was going to review some other movies at first, but I thought, okay, let me do this. Let me go ahead and do the trilogy of Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and do it. And yeah, so looking back on this movie, does it hold up? Does Spider-Man 2002 hold up? I would say it doesn't. It does not hold up. Would I say it's a good movie? Yeah, I'd say it's still like barely a good movie. I'd still say it's a good movie for sure. Hopefully that was a good review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for clicking on. I appreciate y'all. And I'm out. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey, so I wanted to make this video like a video with videos over top, with my audio underneath and videos going over it to keep you entertained. But my phone only has so much memory. And also, I just didn't want to do all that. I really didn't want to edit this one. I recorded this about a full week ago. I didn't want to edit this, man. You know, everybody out there who makes videos, you know, sometimes you love the idea of making a video and it's exciting. You make the video, but then when it's time to edit it, you're not really down. You're like, I don't want to edit this. So that was very much this one. Also, I was lazy. I was lazy about this one. So I just put up photos, put in some videos. Hopefully this was entertaining enough for you to watch it, or maybe you treated this a little more like a podcast. Either way, appreciate everybody who watched this. And if I continue to make this a video series, I promise the next ones are going to be much better. I'm going to figure out a way that is good enough for me to edit, where it feels like it's not so much work, but also is definitely good to be visually and enjoyed. If I continue to make this a video series, I promise the rest will be much better. Thank you for watching.